And welcome here to another edition of Recruit Spotlight on HuskerOnline. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, as always. Recruit Spotlight brought to you by Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill and Tavern 180, 30th and Yankee Hill Road. Here on the spring game weekend, we had a great opportunity not only to talk to some 2024 key targets for Nebraska that made their way to Lincoln, but also a chance to catch up with some of Nebraska's 2023 signees. And I'm really looking forward to this next edition of Recruit Spotlight. Pleased to welcome in D'Andre Barnes from Regis Jesuit, Colorado. And, you know, D'Andre, your recruiting story is so unique because I look at you as a prospect and you led your team in interceptions. You led your team in receiving touchdowns, receiving yards. You're the fastest football player in Colorado, the fastest track athlete in the state. What are you, 6'2"? 6'1"?
I'd probably say 6'1", on a 6'1".
6'1".
That's pretty good.
How did your recruiting stay so quiet with all the accolades you've had, whether it's track, football numbers, and how did it all work out to get to Nebraska?
I think one thing that really hindered my recruiting was I tried to really stay back on the whole social media thing. I didn't really know how to post stuff on Twitter. I didn't know what I was supposed to post or who I was supposed to reach out to. I just knew you were supposed to do the highlights and that kind of stuff. So when it came to my teammates telling me what they do, they would tell me they would send their film to their coaches that they were really interested in. I was kind of like, well, maybe I've been doing this wrong this entire time, and that's the reason why I haven't been getting any offers. But I mean, everything it worked out perfectly with Nebraska. Coach Satterfield came to my school, as I'm sure a lot of people have heard already. But last second, he came to my school a week before signing day, told me I should get up here that Saturday. I was up there, and I loved it ever since I got up here. I mean, I couldn't shake the feeling.
So where were you going to go? Before the Nebraska thing kind of took form and you committed and signed, where were you going to go?
I was going to go to the Air Force Academy. I was going to sign.
Wow.
Yeah.
To play, would you play corner there?
I think they wanted me more wide receiver over there, so that's what I was going to do. But, I mean, they were recruiting me ever since summer of 2022, and it's been really consistent. They've been reaching out to me a lot, sending me stuff on Twitter and stuff, and I just saw a lot of benefits, get to serve my country while I'm over there.
Oh, yeah.
Good benefits. I mean, my grandfather was from the military, so it was close to home. So it just seemed like a lot of benefits to me, and they were doing really good. That was their fourth 10-0 season, I think. I mean, a 10-win season. Yeah, 10-win season they had. So they're doing pretty good in the Mountain West Conference. So I was like, I mean, there was a lot of benefits to that.
But you said you couldn't shake the feeling. You couldn't shake the feeling of Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't.
What do you mean?
The thing with Nebraska is I felt more at home. I remember I was talking with my parents when I was first on my official visit, and it just felt like I was around my uncles, hearing Coach Cooper and Coach Knighton argue. It just felt like listening to
argue.
It just felt like listening to my uncles debate something sports related when I'm hanging out with them at their house. And I just feel like the fans were something that I couldn't get rid of. I wanted something that was football like Wyoming, but felt like Air Force, family wise. Okay. And Nebraska was the perfect match. It felt like the perfect in between.
Go ahead, Sean.
Your high school teammate, Hayden Moore, was also a longtime commit. And did he end up going, was it to Michigan,
yes,
right?
Yes, sir, Michigan.
But he had to tell you a little bit about Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
And were they on your radar when Hayden committed here last summer?
Well, honestly, Nebraska wasn't really looking at me back then. So I kind of just kept my mind to what I thought was the schools that were in my range. But his father and him were telling me about Coach White. I'm sure my dad could tell you a lot of the stories that we've heard about Coach White. He's just a really cool dude. And just the facilities in general. I remember when I was taking my official to Wyoming, they were like, yeah, their facilities are really nice. And they told me the same thing about Nebraska, but nothing they told me lived up to what I saw when I got up here and stuff.
So what are your impressions of Tony White?
I mean, I think he's just a really cool dude. On my official, we were sitting down and just talking about what to expect as a college coach and just as a man, looking as another young man and wanting him to grow into a good man, something to be proud of. And it was just a really good conversation I had with him. I actually found out that he's half black, half Korean.
Yeah.
And my father is also half black, half Korean.
Oh, wow.
So
your father, Anthony.
Yes, sir, Anthony. Yes. And I think that was something we connected on a lot, really. I think it'll always hold a special place in his mind, and definitely with me, because I've never held that kind of connection with a lot of people, let alone a college coach that'll be coaching me at the next level.
What do you think of his 3.35? Does it?
Oh yeah, watching it today, it looked really aggressive. I mean, everybody was getting to the ball. There were some good hits laid on everybody, both sides, red and white team. I really like seeing the aggressiveness, and really just whoever wants to go and make the play can go make it.
Now, your football stuff is very impressive, but equally impressive is your track. Now break down like your accomplishments in track. Where did you place last year in Colorado? Kind of what's your outlook now as a senior in the 100 and the 200 out there?
So my sophomore year was the year that I did really good. That was like my bust out on the scene. Surprised a lot of people, but my junior year wasn't as good. The state qualifying, it was snowed the day before, so that wasn't as good. And then I ended up not qualifying for the finals in either the 100 or 200. So taking that, I just been working hard, trying to hit 10.6, break the school record in the 100, because last year I actually broke our school record in the 200. So I have the school record for that.
And what's that time?
21.6.
21.6.
Yeah, no wind date or nothing. My wind dated fastest is 21.49.
Yeah,
so
that's what I got down.
Yeah.
21.49. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
And I got 10.69 in the 100.
Yeah, that was my fastest one too. So 200ths of a second off of the 100 school record.
DeAndre Barnes of Regis Jesuit in Aurora, Colorado. On a scale of 1 to 10, DeAndre, rate your competitive fire day to day.
I put out a 9. I think as a kid, I've always been someone who's competitive. I always wanted to win, regardless of who I'm going against. Like,
Good.
Even my sisters, looking back on it, I would never let them win if it's a video game, whatever kind of sport. And I think it's just something that's always been in my family.
Mm-hmm.
My dad tells me all the time how my uncles have always been competing against each other because they were always with each other, same age.
Mm-hmm.
But even when I was growing up, my father would be like, if you could beat me in a race or beat me in soccer, beat me in basketball, I'll buy you anything you want. And it just planted that seed in my head where, like, I never won anything and never got to get whatever I wanted, but I always got up and always went against it whenever I could. And it just taught me that you can always get back. You can always control your effort. You can't control if the coach is like you. You can't control who's above you, who's below you, but you can always control what you can do and the effort that you put in.
That's right.
I'm curious about positional fit because I'm sure you could play receiver, defensive back, corner, safety. I mean, how does Nebraska envision you in their secondary? And I assume that's where they have you, right?
Yeah.
Secondary.
So right now it's the secondary, but they say they have me at safety. They recruited me as it says cornerback on a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, Coach Satterfield is the one that came to my school. So if he has something in mind for a wide receiver, he might switch me over there. But honestly, I'm ready to just get on whatever side of the ball will get me on the field fastest.
He's got some DB in his bloodlines. Your uncle Josh played for the Northwestern team.
Yes, sir.
Played in the Rose Bowl in '95.
Yes, sir. Against Peyton Manning on Tennessee.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You get pointers from him?
Yeah, they try to every summer work with me, teach me some stuff, but then again, they let me know like how much more they know than me in football and that kind of stuff.
They do though.
Yeah, they know that they probably forget a lot more than I know. So
you'll get there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's just good to have those kind of role models in my life.
Yeah.
Just a lot of people that I want to make proud and along the road, in a sense, redeem their football journey. I'd like to do.
Well, that's pretty cool. He's a starter for a Rose Bowl team.
Yeah, for sure.
What is next now? When will you move to Nebraska and kind of begin the next journey? I'm sure the state track meet and things in Colorado, do they run that later in May or when?
No, that's pretty early in May. That's around May 20th is when they do all that kind of stuff. And they want us to report to Nebraska the 28th of May. So I'll be looking forward to
ready or
that.
not.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
So you watched today. I mean, when you're watching that today, the spring game, you're watching the defense. Are you thinking I can do this?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess it's a human instinct just to, when I'm on the field, not try to compare myself to the dudes that I already see with just the measurables, height, and that kind of stuff. So
it's human instinct.
Just looking there and knowing, the knowledge that Coach Campbell has he's a strength and conditioning coach, of where he's been and just what he knows about being able to build up young men and stuff. I'm pretty looking forward to what the strength and conditioning will do to me and seeing where I'll be in a few years compared to those dudes.
DeAndre, your story, you're a diamond in the rough. I mean, I think you're a guy
like
when you hear you talk and look at your film and what you've done in track, you've got a bright future. Looking forward to following you here at Nebraska.
I appreciate it.
That's a great story.
And I'm looking forward to, being around these fans and this kind of stuff. I mean, it's a big switch from what I'm used to, but I mean, it's something that I could definitely get used
No,
to.
you seem very comfortable.
How much Coach Prime time are you getting overtaken by right now? And are you looking forward to that game?
Oh
in
yeah,
Colorado?
oh my gosh, I can't explain to you guys how much I'm looking forward to week 2. I mean, just a lot of the kids that I grew up with ended up going to CU and stuff. Probably going to be talking that game up, but even just like the history dates back. My father's been telling me like this game is like something that's been looked upon every single year, like Nebraska week or Colorado week. Like they just count down the days to when they can play, and of course Nebraska fans will travel down and see what that's like. So I mean, kind of going back home on the opposite team, I think that's a little cool of a narrative if you want to like do a story about that. But
okay, we will.
I'm looking forward to
your dad better hang a big Husker flag in his yard.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I don't know if he wants the neighbors to be hostile.
It's pretty hot rivalry.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Still.
And I think rivalries are good. You know, they push teams to be better. We had some games that we look forward to that I just think that when there's a rivalry, you have both teams playing on a level that they usually don't play at. And it's always good to watch teams when they're trying to edge each other out like that.
You're a competitor.
Well, DeAndre, we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for
on
having me.
Recruit Spotlight, and looking forward to seeing you play at Nebraska.
I'm looking forward to being a Husker.
All right. Well, thanks again to DeAndre Barnes of Regis Jesuit in Aurora, Colorado, for joining us here. 2023 Husker defensive back signee. Once again, Recruit Spotlight brought to you by Tanner Sports Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, 30th and Yankee Hill Road. They're a proud presenting sponsor of these Recruit Spotlight interviews. For Steve Sipple, I'm Sean Callahan.